evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run Live. My name is Stephen Cousins, and we are broadcasting across the world on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch.tv, and on Mixer. While we're getting everything set up, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel, or go to the Facebook page and click that like button. You can also find us on Twitter at Film My Run, or on the website at www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so join in the chat, or just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Good evening, everybody. All good morning, all good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We've got people who watch this thing in the United States of America, in Australia, all over the place. So it could be morning, it could be afternoon. Most likely you are here because you are coming to listen to and watch our guest this evening, Laura Swanton, and so it's likely you're probably in the UK, so good evening. I'm Stephen, and this is the Film My Run channel. Mostly, Film My Run channel is all about recording and making videos, years worth of running videos, which you can watch. Also, most recently, you'll find me standing or running on this treadmill with my main sponsor, which is Zwift. Zwift.com/run. We do weekly, bi-weekly training sessions on Zwift, and we have hundreds of people now running on Zwift and watching the stream and taking part in training sessions and races, running races on a treadmill. Can you believe it, given what we're about to talk about? I don't know. One or two housekeeping things. Hello if you're watching on YouTube. Hello if you're watching on Facebook. I am watching both chats. So YouTube chat and Facebook chat. Hello David Power. Hello Paul Core. Hello Rob Oliver, Daz Elliott, Marcus McDonald, Owen Thomas. Oh, my wife. Hello, my wife. So I am watching chat. And if you want to ask Laura a question, by all means, please do. I can't guarantee that I'll see it. I can't guarantee it'll be read out, but I'll try. Especially if there's quite a few of you watching. I just won't be able to talk to Laura, scroll down the chat and do it all. But I'll give it my best shot, okay? So more than welcome to join in chat if you want. We are here primarily to talk about Laura's Arc of Attrition win. So if you are somebody who knows nothing about the Arc of Attrition, knows nothing about why we're here, the Arc of Attrition happened 2 weeks ago. It is a 100-mile race around the Arc of Cornwall, so all around the edge of Great Britain, around the edge of England, for 100 miles over some of the toughest terrain. I hope she's there. Oh, please say she's there. Please say. In her kitchen. She was there 5 minutes ago. She was there 5 minutes ago. I don't believe it. She's not there now. Hold on. Let's see if we can find her. Bear with me. Not her. She's not there. Laura, if you are watching, can you please call back? We've lost Laura. I don't believe it. We have lost Laura. So, what I need to do is I'll put a video on. I'll go and find Laura, get her back, and we'll talk to her. Why she's disappeared, I have no idea. That's brilliant, isn't it? Unbelievable. Okay, bear with me 2 seconds and I will see what I can do, and I will put on a video. Hold on 2 seconds. Right, just to give you a taster of what the Arc of Attrition is all about, here is my video of the Arc of Attrition this year. Hopefully I don't have to show you it all because it's quite long and I want Laura back very quickly. I've done the Arc of Attrition 3 times now. Now, the first time I did it, I took my camera with me on the run. Most of you, hopefully most of you, will have seen that film. I know you all want me to take the camera with me on the run and make another film like I did 2 years ago. And I will do that again. It may be next year, it may be the year after, we'll just have to see. But this year I did the same thing again as last year. I gave the camera to my children. This year though, I think they did a little bit of a better job of keeping filming during the whole race. So we have got most of the checkpoints in this time. So let's start at the very beginning. At the very beginning, well before the race starts. Honestly, has there ever been a race where so many people have had so much trouble just getting to the start line? It was incredible. We got caught in a snowdrift on the A38 heading down just out of Exeter, but we didn't get caught in the main blockage that happened on the top of Bodmin Moor on the A30. I know so many people got caught in that. My friend Richard got caught in it. He was there all night, didn't make the race. And I know from 192 entries to the Arc of Attrition, 190 something entries to the Arc of Attrition, there were 30 odd people who didn't even make it to the start line because of the snow. We made it to our hotel in Camborne late evening, managed to get a decent amount of sleep, and we were up for breakfast in the morning, and then we got in the car and made our way down to registration.
So we're on our way to register for the Arc 2019. It's been an absolutely terrible night of getting here in the snow. Some people are not even going to make it to the start line because they've been stuck all night in the snow. We luckily made it, so we're on our way to the Eco Park to register. There is a brand new race HQ for the Arc of Attrition. It's at the Ecological Park, which is still in Porthtown but just a little bit out of the main beach area. It just means there's a lot more room for people to mill about. There's a nice coffee area, there's a lot more parking. It means that poor blue bar in Porthtown isn't absolutely swamped every year by 200 people.
So look at him. This guy's won this race a few times, so he knows what he's doing, so it can happen to the best of them.
As usual, the start of the Arc of Attrition 100-mile race is at Coverack, small village on the south coast of Cornwall. So we all get on buses. It is mandatory to get on the buses because they can't have hundreds of cars arriving at that tiny village.
Alright, so 2019 Arc of Attrition. Just getting on the bus to get to the start line. We won't film the start. I'm not taking the camera with me. The kids are going to do the filming again.
It's cold and it's icy.
It's actually really much colder than I expected it to be. See you later. I'll see you in 10 miles at wherever it's called. Lizard Point. Bye guys.
Good luck.
Because the camera was now with my wife and kids, there's no film of the start of the race. I'm not going to use anybody else's footage of the start, but suffice to say it was a little bit different than usual. We started a bit further up near the car park. Usually we start kind of right on the seafront. There was a big banging drum at the beginning, and Andy, the race director, introduced all the elite runners to us. So it was a bit more of a razzmatazz kind of affair, and then when the gun went off we all ran down the hill, flanked by these blue flares held up by the race marshals. So it was quite an event to start the race. The race started at midday, so I spent the next 2.5 hours running along the coast to Lizard Point, which was the first which I met my family. It is gnarly from the very beginning. There is no messing about with this race. Once you're out of Coverack, you are straight onto the gnarly, difficult terrain.
Would you say this is the first checkpoint?
Yes, first meeting point.
If this was further in the race, you would say it was really, really tough terrain to get over. As you're just beginning, it's not quite so bad. But running fairly steadily, fairly conservatively, just to preserve my energy for later in the race, it took me 2.5 hours to get from Coverack at the start to Lizard Point, which is just over 10 miles into the race.
Yeah. Not bad at all, that is it. So 18 kilometres, 600, maybe 700 metres of ascent so far. Very muddy on the course. How far to the next checkpoint?
Very
6 miles to Mully.
Mully and Cove. Okay.
Waiting for You will.
What time do I need to be there?
Can't hold it much longer. Really cold.
3:45.
3 hours 45.
1 hour.
1 hour 15 minutes.
Bye guys. Love you, Larsa. Bye.
The next meeting point is a pretty little fishing village called Mullion Cove. The running between Lizard Point and Mullion Cove is just as tough. Quite muddy on this occasion, very windy. Although the sun was out, it wasn't overly cold. It was still quite difficult running, and I think I lost a little bit of time.
Yeah, and Stephen's coming down right now. As you can see, he's in the front of that group.
Well done.
That was a little longer than expected, but never
15
mind.
minutes behind, but
Yeah.
you're closing the gap with people in front of you.
So we're now at 29 kilometres, so 18 miles, 19 miles. This is a place called Mullion Cove.
8 miles to the first official checkpoint.
8 miles to Porthleven, which is the first official checkpoint.
As I said before, you've got to be prepared if you're in a crew. We would recommend bringing a bag full of the things that you'll need for each checkpoint.
All right, see you later, guys. Love you.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. Bye, darling. Love you.
So on I went, making decent progress from Mullion Cove to the first official checkpoint at Porthleven. Last year there was a massive coastal path diversion just before Porthleven, which added an extra 2 miles and half an hour to our journey. This year that wasn't there. There is a new coast path section, much easier to run on, and actually the running between Mullion Cove and Porthleven is much nicer. But this is the time that the sun starts to go down. The idea, for me really, the idea is to get to Porthleven before it gets dark.
And it's getting quite dark.
Okay, so this is the first checkpoint to Porthleven. It's 25 miles, and we're doing all right. I'm ready for this checkpoint though.
First year with a towel. Still loving your hat and your suit. Do you want red rock?
Flat running, and when you get to the outskirts of Penzance, you're covering 4-5
Yeah, gotcha.
miles
Can you hear
of
me?
flat,
Yeah.
lit tarmac road all the way into
I've moved.
Penzance
I've
and out
moved
of
room.
Penzance. I quite
That's
like it
working.
in a way because it breaks up the 100 miles. You've got the initial gnarly cliff section
Right.
from the start into Penzance, and then you've got
Oh,
this
gone
which
again.
kind of breaks up the whole 100 miles from just before halfway, and then you kind of get back onto the old gnarly cliffs again. So Penzance is at around about 38 miles, depends how
gone
many
again.
diversions you've done, depends how often you've gone wrong and off the trail.
Yeah, that's a really flat bit for about 3 miles along the seafront there, and you feel like you've got to run it all. So I did run it all. So I'm quite tired now. I need a rest. But it's a good milestone to get to Penzance. If you get out of here, get to Land's End, you're doing good.
So now we come to the section of the race where there is a little bit of a lack of footage. Partly my fault, partly my wife's fault. So you leave Penzance, it's nice and flat, you're still on the road, and then eventually you're leaving Penzance up onto the hills again and onto Lamorna Cove. I thought, well, there's no point in filming Lamorna Cove, it's quick through, we're out of there in a second, it's dark, let's just get on with it. So we went through Lamorna Cove and on to the next stop, which is Minack Theatre. If you were at Minack Theatre on Saturday morning for the start of the 50, you'll know what it looks like. Absolutely beautiful part of the coast. A kind of amphitheatre built into the rocks, so you can watch a play and look out over the sea whilst you're watching it. Beautiful in the summertime, probably not so great in the winter. So we didn't film at Minack Theatre either. I thought we'd wait till we get to Land's End. There we can go inside, it's nice and warm, it's light, we can do some filming, have a catch up, everything will be fine. So a few wrong turns, lots of mud, lots of climbing up steps, a fair bit of running, and I made it to Land's End slightly ahead of schedule. Something like 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, I got to Land's End. Anyway, she wasn't